Welcome to Of the Ether podcast, where we help you connect to your body, authentic self, the ether, and beyond. I'm your host, Alyssa McDowell, Holy Fire Karuna Reiki Master, meditation guide, and transformation teacher. Tune in for guided meditations, channeled messages, and healing conversations rooted in self-love and spirituality. Let's go. Welcome back. I am so glad you joined us today for this very special episode where I am sharing the floor with a new co-host, Miss Cait Timmerman. Cait is the co-owner and strategist of 605 Video Company, and she is a Holy Fire Reiki Level 2 practitioner. She is a wonderful friend and just an overall amazing human being who is able to shoot the shit with me incredibly easily. She won't be with me on every episode, but you will hear her from time to time for collaborative conversations about healing, intuition, and living life authentically. So welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be great.
Cait actually did Reiki Level 1 and Level 2 training with me. So we didn't become friends until several years later, but that's okay. I haven't been using my intuition for nearly as long as I wish I would have, let alone using my intuition intentionally. It's always been there, but it wasn't until about 2019 when I started getting curious about it, and then 2020 when we actually did Reiki training Level 1 and Level 2. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing how you can use yes or no questions within your intuition to figure out what is the best decision for you, what is in your best and highest alignment. Asking your intuition yes or no questions is great for beginners who want to use their intuition. They're really curious about it, but they're not exactly sure how to go about it. Yes and no questions and finding your yes or no indicators within your body is the perfect strategy to kind of get you on the ground running. It's also a really great way to just have a quiet moment with yourself, with a quiet moment with your most divine essence. And it's a way for you to learn how to take your intuitive answers with no pressure. I haven't been using this strategy very long in all things considered. It's probably only been about a year. But when I realized that I could tune into myself and ask myself these questions, it was such a game changer for all of my decision making going forward. And by using this practice, it inherently makes your intuition stronger. The more you use it, the stronger the muscle gets. So once you know what your yes and no indicators are, what it feels like in your body, the strategy is as simple as just tuning into yourself, quieting everything else down, and just asking the question. So if I get this job, would I be happy there? Yes or no? If I make this course for my business or do this event for my business, will it have the results I'm seeking? Yes or no? Would I be more fulfilled if I stayed home versus go to that event on Friday night? Yes or no? Once you have this technique down pat and you know what's going on, you know what your yes is, you know what your no is, you can tune into this practice for just 5 seconds and get your answer. In the beginning, it might take a little longer, and that's fine. It is a practice. It's a muscle that needs to be flexed and strengthened, but it's so worth it. One of the ways that helped me really tune into using my intuition correctly, tuning into myself correctly, besides my Reiki training and attunements, was learning human design. Specifically, my authority response, the strategy. And I think we're both sacral authorities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, that meant really tuning into my sacral area in my body and just waiting to see what it felt like. And for me, that response looked like tuning in to see which direction my sacral would pull in. So if it was a yes, my sacral would pull forward. If it was a no, my sacral would pull backward. And it literally felt like a physical feeling. The sacral authority is really rooted in, is it a hell yes or is it a fuck no? It's very feeling based, I would say. It's very gut instinct based. What's your experience with feeling into your sacral?
Yeah. So for me, a yes feels like opening. It's really bubbly. And a no feels very I literally feel doors closed. I feel really tight and ooh, that doesn't feel great.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any experience with the other human design responses?
The
Authority
strategies?
response? Yeah.
Yeah, I do know what they are. You want to know what they are
Yes,
too?
I do.
Oh, okay. So sacral is literally to respond. You've got to inform, which is typically your manifestors. They need to communicate their ideas with others because they're great at guiding and managing and directing energy. Wait for the invitation, which is going to be mostly your projectors, which is waiting for a clear invitation before engaging in a new opportunity. Projectors uniquely have the ability to mirror the energy around them. Another one, this was a new one for me. Reflectors aren't super common, but theirs is to wait a lunar cycle, which I think is fascinating. So they're deeply influenced by the moon's 29.5 day cycle. And so they have to wait a full cycle before they initiate.
I would not have the
Isn't
patience for that.
crazy?
I feel like, no, I need to do something now.
I'm like, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I want to meet a reflector someday.
Yeah, they're really rare, right?
Yeah.
Is it like under 5%, or am I making that up?
I think something like that.
Yeah. So if you are familiar with human design, you can see how you can use your authority response as kind of like a starting point to tuning into your intuition, to tuning into your best design, to tuning into how to figure out what is best for you. I have noticed that as my intuition has gotten stronger, that the way I perceive my yes or no has changed. More so once I started like channeling and like really getting good at meditating. But now I don't so much feel it in my sacral unless I'm doing that intentionally, like going that route. But now when I'm looking for a yes or no answer, for yes, my eyes will go up, whether my eyes are closed or open. And for no, they will go down.
I love that.
Yeah. Have you noticed if your yes or no has changed over time?
I wouldn't say the actual response changes, but the way I feel within that response, it's a lot easier to pick up on the more I trust it and the more I allow it to actually guide me. The feeling is just, it's just more certain, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your strategy of saying, okay, I need to know yes or no? Like, what do you do in your body, in your mind to go through that experience and find an answer?
Well, first you have to ask.
Yeah.
First, I think it's really just pausing and giving your body the space to speak back to you and listening to it. And it can be so hard to do that, right? With kids and busy schedules and, oh my gosh, the toast is burning in the toaster and how am I supposed to figure this out? But if you just allow your body the extra few seconds to give you the answer that it's going to give you and then follow through with the action, it's going to get so much easier to do that the more you practice.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a really long time to figure out that I could ask myself those questions, not from like a logical stance, just purely from like an intuitive stance, and kind of tune into, okay, what do I actually want? Or like, what is best for my like highest self and like where I'm going? And so like carving out that time to actually ask is super important, but then learning to like actually really listen while disconnecting from all those logical thoughts and all your biases and all your coulda, shoulda, wouldas, you know? So that takes a lot of time. And like really it's just like a practice of being present while you're growing your intuition. Okay, can you give me some examples of when you have used yes or no, like this yes or no strategy with your intuition?
Yeah. The biggest one was the leap of faith that I took this year. My husband and I both went full-time with our business, and I wasn't certain if that was the right decision, right? Because you have security, and we've got kids and a house and pets, and oh my God, what if this doesn't work? And I really had to sit with it for about a week. It's the longest experience I had of uncertainty, where I'm just sitting and waiting to know what's right, and I'm asking for signs, and the signs would show, but both signs would show, and like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so that was the most recent, I think, big life-changing experiment was sitting with that answer.
Yeah.
And I chose to follow through with it. And it's been amazing.
Yay! Your intuition will never steer you wrong.
It won't.
I tend to use mine probably a little too much. Like, probably not like the best situations, because I can see myself like stopping exploring, to the caliber that I probably should open myself up to. Like, if I see someone on social media who I'm like, oh, they seem cool, I'll tune into my yes or no and say, hey, would we vibe? Like, would we be really good friends? And I'll get a yes or no. And then I kind of discern if it is worth me putting the effort into maybe building something or not. If it's a no, I'm like, okay, bye. Like, that's it. And if it's a yes, I get a little bit more curious. Now, I want to be clear, that doesn't mean that I'm like unfollowing and like I get all bitter. It's just like, is this a relationship worth pursuing, or does it remain just like the social media standard?
I love that though.
Which I like, because I like don't waste my time, but at the same time I'm like, oh, am I blocking myself from like exploring and like being, adventurous in that way? But that's one I use a lot, is asking, would I vibe with this person? Like, really, like, heart to heart, would I vibe with this person? So that's been interesting.
I really, really like that. And I think that that's a great daily practice.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, it's not like a life or death situation.
Yeah.
And so I really like that.
There's no like major risk involved.
Yeah.
I'm going to share another moment where I use yes or no. So a couple months ago, the nurse called me at my daughter's school, and she had fallen off the monkey bars and her elbow looked really swollen, and she recommended that we go to the clinic to make sure everything was okay. On my way to picking her up, even though I was going to bring her to the doctor anyway, I tuned into my yes or no, and I asked, did she fracture or break her elbow? And the answer was no, but we went to the doctor anyway. We got x-rays done, and they were like, it could, it couldn't, we're not really sure, we're going to splint it and send off the x-rays to the specialist. And then a few days later, we got a call from the specialist, and they were like, yeah, she needs a cast. Bring her in. It looks like it's fractured. And even at that appointment, they were like, yeah, there's like this little anomaly here at the end of her elbow. Like, it could be a fracture. It's looking like it really is, but it could also be just how her bone is. But to be safe, we're going to cast it, because she's doing handstands, she's doing cartwheels. Like, there's no way this 6-year-old is going to not do her gymnastics. And so we got the cast put on. And 2 weeks later, we were able to get the cast off. And we got new x-rays taken at this appointment. Upon looking at the x-rays, they were like, actually, funny thing, it doesn't look like she actually had a fracture. Like, the x-ray did not change at all. That's apparently just how her bone is. If she would have fractured it, we would have saw healing bone. We would have saw like a different color variety within the x-ray, and that's just not here. So we had all of that run around thinking we had a fracture when we actually didn't. Then a couple days later, I was kind of like reflecting on the whole situation, and it occurred to me that my intuition, when I asked yes or no, did she fracture or break her elbow, and the answer was no, I was actually right. I thought I was wrong for 3 weeks. Thought I was wrong, and I was like, I guess you can't win them all, it's whatever. But I was right. It took me a while to be proved right, but I was right. Using your intuition for figuring out your yes or no is really something that anybody can use. Like, everybody has access to this. It's just like learning the strategy, learning that it's available to you. And the hardest part is just like asking and then just giving yourself a few seconds to be present for the answer. And I'm going to walk you through how exactly you can figure out what your yes or no is within your intuition with a really short and sweet meditation. If you're not already in a cozy spot, get comfortable now. Wherever you are sitting, work out any kinks in your back, your neck, your jaw, so you are completely comfortable, free of distractions. And close your eyes. First, we're going to start with some breathing exercises to get you in the body and fully present with this experience. Take a deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly and then the chest, and exhale slowly with control to the count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Again, inhale deep in through the nose. Exhale through the nose with control. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First, you're going to set aside your ego and biases. You can repeat after me aloud or in your head, or just feel the words ingrain themselves within your body with intention. Repeat after me. I set aside my ego and biases, connecting to the fifth dimension or higher. Feel into the expansion of energy as you let go of these heavy ties. Feel the freedom of those words. It might feel very quiet in your head, or it might feel like the top of your head just opened to worlds unknown. Whatever your experience is, feel into it. Allow it. Now, with the intention that you are asking your higher self, say aloud or in your head, show me what my no is in my body. Let it come to you without restrictions. Did you feel a shift in the energy? Did you experience movement? Did you hear or see something? There is no wrong answer. Okay, next, say aloud or in your head, show me what yes is in my body. How does yes present in your body? How is it different from your no? You may ask again, show me no, show me yes, but try not to let doubt creep in as it can quickly take over. If you need to, you may ask, Spirit, allow me to feel my no indicator stronger now, and see if that makes a difference. Spirit, allow me to feel my yes indicator stronger now. Okay, take another deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, bringing yourself back into the present moment, into your body. Oh, how was that for you? If you participated in this meditation and was able to discern what your yes or no is, make sure you leave a comment within the podcast box, or you can even DM me on Instagram to tell me about it. I would love, love, love to hear from you. Cait, I want to thank you for being with me here today on our first episode together. I can't wait to have you back and all the juicy, intuitive self-loveness that will be coming through.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait too.
Yay! And for you out there tapping into your unique yes or no, I wish you all the best, all the luck in figuring out what is right for you. Until next time, be well.